Hi guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. It's time to open up another of our boxes in our Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar, and we are up now to day 7. Yes, today is the 7th, so we are on day 7, and that's up here. So let's go ahead and see what is inside. We've got a cute little stencil. Fabulous. So let's go ahead and start creating. So what we've got is we've got 3 separate stencils, and they have a little bit here that's printed on there, that's kind of etched on there with the number. So I've got number 1 down, and the 1's down in this corner. Then we've got number 2. So it would basically go over the top there. And then we've got number 3. So we've got a nice little layering stencil set. If you haven't tried layering stencils, this is a great way to try it out and start off. And I'm going to do Christmas colors just because I'm still in a Christmassy mood today. And I'm going to just go ahead and just start putting on. I've got it positioned on one corner of my cardstock. You can do whatever you want with it. And I'm just using a little brush here because I want to try not to make as big of a mess, and I know I would have ink over the entire thing. And I need to get some more of these. I think that's going to be on my wish list. And these are just some brushes I picked up on Amazon. There are a lot of different ones out there. So just filling in all the little boxes. Okay, so we are done with our bee sting. I am, however, going to, I'm going to hold this off to the side. I want to save the ink on here, but this is also a water reactive ink, so that means I can reactivate it with some water or a baby wipe to use the additional ink onto another card. So I'm going to do that. So now we're going to go in with number 2. And it should line up pretty much the way the other one did. I also used that little dot in the corner to line up with the corner of my card so I have an idea of where this is supposed to be. There we go. Just pressing it into my waffle flower sticky mat. Okay, there we go. Now we've got our second one. That looks kind of cool. And now I'm going to put down the 3rd. And again, the number's down here in the corner, so it should just layer up right over the top like what we just had with the others. That looks good. And I think for this one, I'm going to bring in some yellow. But I also, yep, I'm going to do it. I want to use some of my lunar paste. So for this one, I'm going to use some Slippery When Wet. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so I've decided that I'm going to actually put it on with a palette knife. So I'm being careful. Just kind of go over up at the top. And I also moved my Misty around so that I can pull towards me because I know that is kind of me. So let's give this a shot. I've got a scraper here, so I'm just going to try scraping that right on across and try not to get any of it onto the rest of my card. I also noticed that this one in the middle, this vertical, doesn't have enough lunar paste, so let's just go in and put that on there. Okay, I'm going to say that this is going to be done. Going over one more time, and it's better not to go over and over and over because you get kind of weird bumps and stuff, but that still looks cool too. And there we go. I think that looks cool. I am going to need to let it sit to dry for a minute because I do have the lunar paste on a little bit thicker. But how cute is that? So while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and clean up my little stencils here and just using a baby wipe, and I'm adding the color back into those holes. I am again avoiding the edges, and you can tape this down to make sure that you do avoid those edges so it doesn't go over on the rest of your card. But this is basically cleaning it up and making it so that we don't waste any of that ink. Totally optional, but I think that looks kind of cool, and it's a little bit of a watercolory look. I'm also putting the number into this corner since I've got this upside down. And again, just taking the baby wipe, and if the colors mix, I really don't mind too much. Okay, so there is number 2. And then we're going to bring in this one that's got all of that lunar paste on there, and we're going to do the same thing. Okay, and that looks pretty cool. I'll go ahead and clean up the rest of this. I didn't want to get too close to the edges because, yeah, I didn't want it to go over on the top of that. And I should be able to just dry this with my heat gun real quick. And then let's go ahead and finish drying that lunar paste. Okay, so I'm going to use a black mat. I cut the panel down to 3 3/4 by 5. Yes, 3 3/4 by 5. The mat is a little bit bigger, so that is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to put this down onto a top folding card base. And I haven't decided if I'm going to go horizontal or vertical. So I've got a couple of holly leaves that I cut out from the American Holly set. I cut a bunch of them at the time, and I keep on pulling them back out of my stash. So my thought is having that kind of there, but do I want sentiment to be here, or do I want it to be, I think it's going to go here. And I've also got some stickles and Nuvo drops and different things that I can add as an additional embellishment. I think that having another pop of red is going to be cool. So let's go ahead and add these down using some art glitter glue. And the foam is probably going to take the longest to dry, so I'm putting it down first anyway. I like having that lighter color and glitter behind my darker. And then let's get one of my cat hairs off of there. Sorry about that. And they don't even come and hang out with me at my desk. It's just their hair kind of just floats around in the air sometimes, right? Okay, so we've got our first holly leaf. And I think I want it right about there. And then I'm going to put my acrylic block on top and give it a second to dry. Okay, now we can add our foil one down. Kind of like it about there. And again, I'm going to put my acrylic block over the top. Okay, so I'm going to add a little sentiment strip here, adding it on with some foam because I don't want it to... You can't really put it flat over all of that dimension from those leaves. So I'm just adding a little bit of foam. This is just some Scotch foam tape. It's fairly thin. And then I'm going to also add some liquid glue because there is part of it that's going to be overlapping my leaves. There we go. And then these two pieces are going to go around our, let me put some glue in the center there, but around our stems. Okay, that looks pretty good. like that. And then as a finishing point, I decided instead of stickles, I was going to go with my Nuvo drops. There is a little bit of glitter on here, which is the leaves, but I think it'll look better having the shiny but not glittery look of these. And one of the fun things about using something like Nuvo drops or stickles or whatever is you can make whatever sizes of anything that you want. And then just to kind of round them out and get rid of the peaks, I'm just going to tap it a little bit. It should help to flatten them out a little bit. Okay, and then all I need to do is just let that dry. So that is going to finish up this card for the Advent Calendar series. I am doing a video every day at 4 p.m. Eastern, so there will be another one up tomorrow, and some of these are going to be live. So anyway, that's going to finish up this one using that fun stencil. Love, love, love that. So I will see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern right here on Debbie J's Crafting Corner. You guys have a great day, and I will see you then. Bye, guys.